morning. Greetings from the Institute of Global Professional IGP. Greetings from the Institute of Global Professional IGP. Thank you all for joining us and staying with us till the end. Honorable Knowledge Seeker. Today I am your host for the evening. My name is Badhum Dash. I am from Bangladesh. Dear Knowledge Seeker, I am proud to be associated with IGP. IGP is a social and certified international education and training institute. In last 3 years, we already served 35 million plus knowledge seekers from 100 plus countries. IGP is internationally recognized and globally accredited. We are connected to more than 450 plus profession and 4,500 plus organizations. Institute of Global Professional is an education institute that provides social work globally recognized and reputable. We serve student and community resource providing holistic social work and education. We believe that is not effective in case one skill just backward informal education. So we provide effective training and consultation to generate profession generation all over the world. We distribute our services locally, nationally, internationally to student, job seeker, job holder, and also for learner, the respective campus location and distance learning platform. We are an occupational and dependable institute. IGP is one of the famous online institutes from all over the world. Our vision is education is not a business product, it's a part of our human rights. Based on our vision, we are trying to reach all corners of the world for free webinar seminar courses, award, quiz competition, mentoring, and counseling, etc. On the other side, we are also trying to offer more than 100 premium services for free, like its own portfolio website, resume builder, cover letter, motivation letter, and one knowledge platform for gathering general knowledge which can upgrade all day. Kids learning game website, free course, converse sites, and many more. We help empower you to learn to meet their expectation and dream and become highly skilled people. We implement several training program, webinar, and offline online courses for youth and learner by professional trainer, speaker, and coaches. Our sessions are conducted by global renowned professionals to develop all kind of youth and to promote the education of their abilities and personalities. Spreading knowledge is crucial for the Institute of Global Professional. We believe that knowledge is love and light and vision. So we try to understand the needs of today's generation and we serve them with good research and practice method. We must have a genuine concern for the learner we represent. More diversity, growth, and innovation are required to lead a session with professionalism, passion, and integrity. As a member are committed to offering effective, best quality service and continual improvement so the individual who seek ownership can improve their skill level and value. Before I move to the next, let me remind don't forget to share, tag, and mention your friend in the comment box. Your support is very valuable for us. Thank you. Before I move to the next, let me remind don't forget to share, tag, and mention your friend in the comment box. Your support is very valuable for us. Thank you. Moving to the next, with your continuous support, we already completed 1,715 webinars successfully. Moving to the next, with your continuous support, we already completed 1,716 webinars successfully. Dear IGP speaker, participant, and well-wisher, at this moment, this is a very important message for you all. We change and design our website www.eduigp.com. On this website, we have surprise for everyone. Hope you will be benefited. We already launched our new website where you can find all our previous activities together with lots of new features. But one strong point is that without an account or login, you cannot enjoy our service. So create your account first with profile information. Note that with profile information, you will enjoy all features. With business data, you cannot do anything here. From now on, you can participate in live quiz competition on our website. We replace slide. You have to join directly on our website. Now you can check all of our previous webinars with verified e-certificate. Now it's easier and time oriented because after the session, we will not provide you any code for certification. You have to take part in one exam. After that, if you pass, you will receive your certificate, otherwise not. But you can take part in an exam unlimited till you pass. If you are an IGP speaker, you can download all your previous certificate, speakership certificate. If you are a host of IGP, you can download a certificate of gratitude. If you are selected for a lifetime membership, then you can download a certificate of lifetime membership easily. Besides this, if you have participated in an award function which organized common support with IGP, you can download it also. You can easily prepare and download 18 types of certificates from our website within minutes. Certificate of Global Professional Membership, Certificate of Global Interest in the Pandemic, Certificate of Active Knowledge Seeker, Certificate of Social Activities in the Pandemic, Certificate of Achievement IGP Knowledge Seeker 2020, 2021 and 2022, Certificate of Participation Webinar Series 1, Authoring Assessment in Teaching Learning, Certificate of Participation Webinar Series 2, Teaching English as a Foreign Language and Assessment, Certificate of Participation Webinar Series 3, Digital Classroom Engagement Tool, Certificate of Participation Webinar Series 4, The New Trend in Education, Certificate of Participation Webinar Series 5, Upskill Organizational Leadership and Managerial Skills, Certificate of Participation Webinar Series 6, Trend and Innovation in Mathematics Education, Certificate of Participation Webinar Series 7, Research and Comprehension Approach, Certificate of Participation Webinar Series 8, Art in Teaching and Special Programming in the Arts, Certificate of Participation Webinar Series 9, 21st Century Today Teaching Mathematics, Certificate of IGP Corporate Ambassador, Certificate of IGP Campus Ambassador, which you can prepare and download within a minute. From now on, you can participate in 1,000 plus international level quiz with verified certificate. Teaching tips for teacher, health tips for parents, health tips for teens, unification tools for teacher. You can join IGP alumni. You can check out our 50 plus student service website for free and many more. Dear IGP will be sure we promised previously, but lack of treating a problem, we will late sending you on time. This is a great opportunity to collect your previous condition. Solve all issues from our website. Now you can enroll, reset password, everything. You can check it delivered for all update details. It's a Korean request to check our button and pages on our website. Surely I can say it will benefit. Thank you, but note that without an account or login, you cannot enjoy our services. At present, we have requested our 1,760 webinar, which name is Management of CWSN, and today our speaker's name is Dr. Mr. Mohammed Zubair. He is from India. Before I hand over the stage to our speaker, sir, I want to share a very detailed bit about him. Assistant Professor, Special Education, Learning Disability, Department of Teacher Training and Non-Formal Education, Faculty of Education, Jamia Millia Islamia Center, University, New Delhi, India. Now, very important moment for me to invite our speaker to IGP with his presentation. Now, very important moment for me to invite our speaker to IGP with his presentation. Hello, sir. Good evening.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir. You are audible. Sir, please present your presentation.
One second. One second. It is visible. Is it visible? Hello, ma'am.
Sir, please make it fully screen. It's not fully screen.
I think now it's visible.
Yes, sir. The stage is here. You can start your presentation now.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. First of all, Assalamu alaikum, Namaste, good evening, good morning around the globe. I am Muhammad Zubair, Assistant Professor of Special Education from Jamia Millia Islamia Central University in New Delhi. I am working in the field of special education. So, first of all, I would like to express my gratitude to the IGP platform because they are doing a great job in the field of education for organizing such events in online mode. Today, my topic is management of children with special needs, and this is a very important topic as we all know. And management of children with special needs is the important topic as we all know. So, who are children with special needs? As we all know, every child is unique. Every child is different. They have, abilities and caliber and limitations as well. So, children who have special needs all have unique abilities and certain personal limitations. No two children are the same. So, they are the children with special needs. So, when we talk about special needs, keep in the mind that it's a broad term. It covers lots of disabilities and lots of uh, you know uh, disorders, and is often used to describe a very wide range of physical, emotional, mental, or the behavioral disabilities. So some children have more than one specific disability sometimes. So we have to give them interventions because interventions play vital role in the special education, because intervention involves skill building strategies and that are designed to move special students, because every child is unique and we have to identify the need of the child. We have to observe them at every step, and teacher has to play vital role, and the parents, teachers, and special educators, they work together in the field of education. So, parents sometimes observe their child, teachers observe their child, what their strength and weakness is all about. And sometimes the same child needs improvement in both areas, sometimes in academic, sometimes in non academic areas. they have problems. So as a teacher, it's my duty to design interventions to help students in the area of need so that they can overcome them. So interventions need lots of interventions, we can organize in the class, like instructional interventions. It helps struggling students measure their progress. So interven instructional interventions play vital role. Sometimes we need behavioral interventions to overcome the problems, because lots of students have behavioral issues. They may use a functional behavioral assessment to add in this discovery process. So some students are not doing their work, they are refusing, they are not following the instruction of the teacher. They are very unresponsive in the class, they have inappropriate language, they have aggression. So sometimes we need behavioral interventions. And some students have the academic problems, like reading problem, like dyscalculia, the writing problem, dysgraphia, or the dyscalculia, any academic problem. So when a child struggles with reading, writing, or any academic issues, so we have to apply instructional interventions to improve the situation. As we all know about, it means, you know on the basis of physical, emotional, behavioral, or learning disabilities or impairment that causes an individual to additional or specialized service or accommodation. So we have to give them accommodation to overcome the problem. So nowadays we all are talking about inclusive education, where all children learn together in the same setup, where tribes, the women, the children with special needs, orphans, minorities, all are sitting together in the same setup, and we are providing them need-based education. So we have to accept all student regardless of their differences on the and it gives the equity in the class. It gives the accessibility in the class. So when the system is inclusive, so no discrimination on the basis of caste, religion, the tribe, the language, or the region, and equal opportunities, the equity is there. And we have to adapt the environment. We have to remove the barriers of infrastructure barriers or the social barriers, and equal educational benefits we have to give them, and we have to make them independent in the society. And the students' views are listened to and taken seriously. And individual differences are there in the class, in the society, so we have to give them need-based education. So it means education for all is important, and their protection of right is important, and we have to identify their skills and limitations as well. We have to use all those skills to remove the limitations. And development of social consciousness is important, and we have to make such environment. But when the student is special, or divyang, or children with special needs, and they have problems, he's facing too much problem. So they face lots of problems. Sometimes, for example, inferiority complex in the class, he feels that he is totally different from other students. Lots of students are making you know fun of them, sometimes bullying in the class. So inferiority complex, lack of understanding, adjustment problem, emotional problem, social isolation in the society, and the feeling of extra burden, insecurity, introvert in nature. They are not capable to express their ideas in front of others. So negative approach is there. So lots of students have are facing too much problems in the society. So role of teachers is important, because teacher is the one who will observe their potential in the academic area, in the non-academic area. He will observe their behavior, what they are doing in the class. They will interact with their parents. They will know what student is doing at their homes. So teacher and you know parents role is vital, because parents know parents know their students really well. They know how they achieved their milestones, and how their progress is going on. And interaction with family by the teacher will give a clear cut idea about the progress of the student and about the problem area of the student. Because when we know about the problem, in which area a student is lacking, then we can we can make a plan, we can make IPs, we can work with a special educator or other experts. So to develop new learning strategies, it is important to identify the problem. So early identification is the important aspect at the in the special education, because when you identify at the early stage, you can manage easily, because lots of disabilities are only manageable. We can't cure them. So we have to manage all those things, all those problems. So to able so teacher will be to able to develop self confidence, because teacher is the one who can motivate their students, they can motivate their parents, and they can increase the self esteem of the students, and they can identify the need based education and which kind of learning style is required in the teaching learning process, which kind of strategies I can use in the class, and I can recognize the hidden talent of the students, because every child has unique strength. So I have to use all those strength in my teaching learning process. So in the inclusive setup or in special education, children with special need often face certain problems like acceptance and respect. Sometimes parents in society or the teachers or the students are not accepting, and people are not accepting them. So firstly we have to accept them in society. Secondly, we have to identify, we have to make screening and labeling of the child is important, and clarity of responsibility is essential, because the role must be clear. The role of parents, role of teacher, role of a special educator, role of experts is important. So inclusion is valuable in the class. School readiness is also important, because if school is not ready for special education, so how we can say that inclusion will be successful in the class? Because no barriers must be there, the infrastructure must be good, resource room, libraries, laboratories. School readiness is important, because for the smooth functioning of the school, the policies government have made, but these policies must be, implemented in the practical manner in the classroom. So these all things we can do. So children readiness, but the school readiness is also important, as I told. So ready children, ready families, ready communities, we have to ready everything. So role of teacher, as I told, accept responsibilities for creating schools in which all children can learn and feel free, develop positive attitude among all. So curriculum modification and adaptation is required, because curriculum must be flexible, adaptive according to need of the student, because sometimes students is facing lots of problems. So we have to be flexible, and alternative approaches we have to use in the class. So curriculum designing, multisensory approaches we have to use in the class, and imitations, repetition drills will work really well. Concrete objects we can use, make barrier-free environment, and learning by doing. Hands-on training is important. These are the things we can do. So we have to remove attitudinal barriers. We have to remove conceptual barriers. We have to remove physical barriers. Policies barriers are also there in many countries. We have to make such policies which are which can be implemented. Social barriers are there in the society. So successful inclusion means develop positive attitude, and we can organize many orientation programs, we can give support, and we can give essential services. Lots of strategies and approaches we can use, like 5E plan, like ADDIE model, like CAM model, like peer tutoring, like team teaching, UDL. Lots of things we can use for successful inclusion for the special kids. So develop positive attitude towards children with special needs. Orientation programs we can organize for teachers and the experts, for the special educators, to orient them, to aware them, give support. We can give support to the teachers, to the mentors, and give essential services to them to tackle the problem of special children. Promote UDL in the class and create an environment in the class. So you know so multisensory approach will always work because teachers are those who can mold their students according to their need and interest. So teachers make desired goals and try to achieve these goals to enhance the skills of their children. So in this ongoing uh, session, I would like to say the benefit of uh, you know of a battlefield environment, how we can which kind of things we can do. For example, firstly, physical barriers are there. So access to the physical barrier or the physical environment is essential. We have to remove the physical barriers firstly in the inclusive setup. The path from the gate to the school buildings and playground must be clear and labeled, and all entrances and doorways in the school building should be between minimum 4 to 5 feet. The toilet inside the school should be accessible to children with special needs, and these toilets should be fitted with commode and grab rails. The drinking water outlet should be accessible for kids. Avoid sharp turns in walkways, and the walkways must be clear or any hung or protruding obstructions such as windows, light, low branches, flower pots, and signposts, etc. Steps should be equal and even heights at stairs. The end of the handrails should be bent downward to avoid injuries. Bright colors should be used at every change in slope. All the surfaces should be non-slip. Natural lighting should be optimized. Safety of our children must be ensured by provision of hazard-free environment in the setup. Secondly, we have to remove the curriculum barriers. Access to curriculum is important. The classroom design should allow the teacher to able to pay a personal attention to each child because every child has unique needs. So adaptation and accommodations are required during the teaching learning process. And sometimes teacher has to change their strategies completely because it is a cyclic process. So sometimes as a teacher I will fail, so I will change my strategy for each and every child and ensure the participation of the kid not only in academic but also in non-academic areas. And I will use all the technologies to meet the needs of special kids in the class. Lots of appliances, lots of aids we can use to remove the barriers, like calipers, wheelchairs, passage, special chairs, crutches, wedges, lots of things. And ensure adequate space allocation to meet individual needs of children using assistive devices. Ensure that visual, tactile, and pictorial learning aids, lots of things, lots of teaching learning material, lots of things. And for example, if a child is visual impairment, use or of low vision. If he is low vision, use enlarged print material. If he is completely visual impairment, use braille, you know embossed braille and tactile material. So, and making science lab accessible by braille labeling, tactile charts, lots of things we have to do. Training in daily living skills like orientation and mobility, like human guide techniques, must be provided to children with seeing difficulties as per the needs. And the resource teacher should provide auditory training to make optimum use of the residual hearing of the child. So lots of things are available. Multisensory approach, we have to include all those senses in the class, more than one sense, and they will learn a lot. So auditory learners, because they learn reading by listening to someone present information orally and by being allowed, so they will learn. So you can record lectures or repeated listening. You can use you can record all lectures and provide this lecture in the auditory mode, and this will definitely help them in learning. And interactive lectures you can make, use beats and rhyming words. You can record songs, poems, lots of things. You can make groups, and assign work in the groups, and they will listen in group. Visual learners, they'll, like learning disabled students, they are visual learners, so when they see, they'll understand really well. So they learn by seeing words in printed form, the picture, the images, the illustrations, the PPTs, the videos, lots of things. So like charts, diagrams, maps, illustrations, pictures, real objects, PPTs, audio visual aids, photographs. So you can use TV, use projector, laptop, ICT apps for such students in the class to engage them and to deliver your lesson effectively, and they will definitely learn the thing. Some students learn by activities when they perform hands-on training in the class. They do lots of activities. So kinesthetic learners will learn best through movement of their small or gross motor, muscle. They'll take information best, while moving and doing. So role playing is a good example. Role playing, and the activity-based teaching is important, like hands-on training. Lots of co-curricular activities you can organize, lots of games you can organize in the class. That will definitely help them. Visual impairment students, they are tactile learners. They touch, emboss things, embossed, and so tactile learners, so they will learn. Tactile learners, they learn through their sense of touch, such as using their hands and fingers. So they learn best their writing, drawing, hands-on manipulation. So for tactile learners, learn best when physically engaged in hands-on activity by touching. So lots of things you can organize, tools, clay, and lots of teaching learning material you can make for such students and in the class. So what does the word disability mean to you? What is your reaction when you see a person with disability, and what personal experience do you have with disability, either with your own lived experience within your family or in your community? So persons with disability have long-term physical, mental or intellectual or sensory impairment. It may be physical, it may be mental, or it may be intellectual or sensory impairment. Which in interaction with which with various barriers may hinder their full and effective participation in society on an equal basis. So they are limited activity they can perform, limited. So difficulty encountered by an individual in executing a task in reality, in the practical manner, and restricted participation in the activities in the real life situations, and impairment, problem in body function, structure, and with varying severity. So disability models like charity, medical, social, and rights, you know, is so cycles of poverty and disability. For example, this is cycle: disability, poverty, and vulnerability to poverty and ill health. So denial of opportunities for economic, social, and human development, will lead deficits in economic and social cultural rights, and it will reduce participation in decision making, and denial of civil and political rights, social culture, and exclusion of stigma. So this is so it means we have to remove all those barriers, and we have to give equity, and we have to remove discrimination, and we have to use lots of accommodations. We have to modify the teaching learning material. So then we can say inclusion in action, because invite person with disabilities, appreciate them, include them in curriculum, organize days, and uh, lots of films and movies you can show on the basis of inclusion or special education, because they will definitely aware the society. So this is the this is a picture which shows what we can do, we cannot do. you can see. And etiquettes, don't touch, personal equipment of the kids, don't victimize, don't assume them as a teacher or as a special educator or as an expert. Adjust posture to eye level and make eye contact with them. Ask before providing assistance and don't underestimate their abilities. Always try to use positive affirmations in the class. Speak to the person before his caregiver. So, what questions do you have? You know, think about this. You know, UN Convention on the Rights of Child is there. UN Convention on Rights of People with Disabilities. So, you know, view persons with disabilities with rights capable of claiming rights and making decisions based on free, informed consent. Active members, we have to make them active members in the society, and we have to talk about human rights instrument with social development dimensions. This is the required. And how do these rights play out in your country or community? How are they upheld, and what are the challenges to children with disabilities and their caregivers claiming those rights? Because in many countries, lots of legal framework is there, but the implementation is not there. So this is the responsibility of each stakeholder to aware them. So does not use you know words to communicate on time, does not understand simple directions. If a children have such problems, you are, for example, if a child is in my class and he does not use words to communicate on time, does not understand simple directions and instructions, speech is difficult to understand, and not sitting, crawling and walking on time, cannot hold or manipulate toys, difficult in preparation for school, cannot hold pen correctly, poor fine motor gripping, cannot use toilet, dress or feed self appropriately, hypersensitive or hyposensitive to the environment, and show unusual uncontrollable behavior. Lots of things. uh, but the diversity is there, different kind of symptoms you will see in different children. So not all disabilities are visible. What does this mean for mean for our work? Like learning disability, it is not visible. They have, you know, average or above average IQ level. So this is not visible. They look like the normal person, but they have problem in reading writing. So how does institutionalization or family separation further impact a child with disability, and what are the parents told by the community or doctors about their child with disability, and how does their impact separation, and what community services could help parents, and what your role in addressing those services gaps? So child in the present and future, siblings, parents, services in society. Lots of reasons behind it, genetical reasons and biological reasons, chemical reasons, environmental reasons are there. So overcome stigma and discrimination. Firstly, in the society, attitudes, beliefs and terminology that lead people to reject, avoid or fear those they perceive as being different. So discrimination is there in the society, and due to stigma. So discrimination happens when person unjustly deprive others of their rights and life opportunities due to stigma. So importance of community engagement is important. Health, education, livelihood, social and empowerment. Health is important in CBR matrix. Community based rehabilitation is important for these child for this child, because health covers five principles: promotion, prevention, medical care, rehabilitation and assistive devices. Education means early childhood education, primary, secondary, higher, non-formal, lifelong learning. Livelihood, skill development in them, self-employment is important, wage employment, financial services and the social perception. Personal assistance, relationships and marriage and family, culture and arts, recreation, leisure and sports, justice. Empowerment covers advocacy and communication. community mobilization, political participation, self-care groups, and disabled people organizations. So, what are the resources, services, and capacities available in your country? We have to reflect on them. If we are giving these things to them or not. So, lots of gap is there around the globe. Lots of gap, lots of work we have to do because some, in some places, no legal framework. In some places, framework is there but no implementation. So, we have to do lots of work for the management of disabilities. UDL is important, making design accessible to everyone in society. What is UDL? Because it considers the diversity of individuals, creates a wide range of abilities and body sizes in mind. And the goal of UDL, Universal Design for Learning, is to remove barriers in teaching learning process and address the barrier faced by the whole population. You know, it provides individuals with equal opportunities with equity. It is designed to serve all learners, all special kids, regardless of ability, disability, and age, gender, and cultural and linguistic background, and provides a blueprint for the teacher for designing goals, which kind of methods he will use, and how will they assess their kids. Accessibility, is important in this because it is central to inclusion and an obligation under the Convention of Rights of Persons with Disabilities. So this approach, reduce the number of barriers for all people, including person with disabilities, and accessible. We have to make environment accessible for everyone. Many adaptations, for people with disabilities benefit a variety of users. For example, ramps and curb cuts make it easier for parents with baby strollers. Closed captions on television and movies can be appreciated not only by the deaf and hard of hearing, but by people who can read them in noisy environment. And the concept that everyone benefits when designs incorporate the needs of every user has become known as universal design. So, you know, what is components of a UDL curriculum? Goal, methods, materials, and assessment. Firstly, the principles of UDL. First, engagement. Offer options and supports to stimulate motivation and sustain enthusiasm for learning. Representation. Present information in different ways to support access and understanding. Offer options and supports to all, so everyone can create, learn, and share. For example, look for ways to motivate learners and sustain their interest because we have to create interesting class and let people make choices, give assignments that feel relevant to their lives, make skill building feel like a game, and create opportunities for them in the class. Because everything starts with how students engage with the class and the subject. And this principle encompasses the ideas of motivation building on the interest of the students. So the area of engagement also helps students to see the reasons why they should learn, why they are learning, and makes it relevant to their life. How can I engage all my students in the class? How can I give students choice and autonomy? Know the strength and weakness of the students and give students specific learning goals and create and follow classroom routines. Provide flexible classroom for them, display information in flexible format. So, the representation part of learning. I like to read to learn. I like to listen to learn. I like to listen while reading along to learn. If I use digital material, I meet everyone's needs. So, what is representation? Offer information in more than one format. For example, the instruction, the teacher could provide a worksheet along with audio, which could be as simple as saying the written directions out loud. Hands-on learning. So, allow students to choose the methods by which they take in information. Allow for all type of students to thrive as they interact with subject material. So the goal of representation is UDL to allow students to be more resourceful and knowledgeable. How I can present information in different ways that can reach to all my learners. Every learner is unique. We have to use different style. So how can we display text, chart, models, PPT, flashcard, TLM? And the third is expression, how of learning. You know, give learners more than one way to interact with the material and how and to show what they know. For example, they might get to choose between taking a pencil and paper test, giving an oral report, or making a video or a comic strip. So once the students have taken in the information, it is time for them to express how, show what they have learned, because this principle for learning takes into account into different differences of students, manner of expression, and you know under this principle, promote the development of curriculum and instruction that includes options for recruiting interest, sustaining efforts, and persistence and self-regulation. Provide opportunities to students what they know. Provide flexibility, pace, and time. Paper pencil tasks to show ability. So whole person approach. This is UDL enables security in the education. Learners friendly environment creates flexible curriculum we can make and improve learning for kids in the class. But it doesn't mean that we can eliminate all other factors. So extra time, for example, if a child is low vision, we have to give them extra time. If a child has hearing impairment, we have to use sign language. We have so UDL alone is not sufficient. Successful bottom-up interventions, so we can use precautionally. Team teaching play vital role for these kids as well, because team teaching occurs when two or more teachers jointly deliver instruction to a diverse group of students in a single physical space. So teachers share responsibility for planning and instruction, and which teach they share the responsibilities and content, and requires mutual trust, respect, and empathy between the teachers. And inclusiveness is important and help academically and offers a less fragmented education in this aspect. Teachers need to volunteer and agree to team teach. Gradual implementation will be conducted, and attention needs to be given to planning and continuity of scheduling. So teachers who are comfortable taking the initiative, self-confidence in their knowledge and in their abilities, who are committed to their profession, fare well in this environment. Personal attributes for team teaching: to be trustworthy, to have a flexible, you know, friendly personality, to be able to create positive atmosphere in the class, to be able to negotiate the things, and personal attributes: to have a sense of humor in the teacher, to be able to promote equality and sharing, to be a facilitator rather than an instructor. As a teacher, you are a facilitator. So to have a dedication and commitment to the job of teaching. So teachers do not have to commit to only team teaching as an approach. Team teaching is not only option for meeting the needs of children with special needs. Lots of varieties are there. Lots of things we have to use. Not a single approach will work. Not a single method will work. So we have to use different methodology, different styles. So what are the benefits for the school? Allow for greater inclusion for special kids in the mainstream. Allow collaboration in the school, in the colleges. Collaborative work will definitely work because they have different problems. Allow the promotion of models of good practice, and additional support is required in the class, in the school, and make a positive relationship between the child and the student, and allow for modeling and positive behavior in classroom. And what are the benefits for the student in the class? Because increase teacher time for the students due to two adults working together, either inside or outside the classroom. Allow target groups, target students to be grouped. Support inclusion through access to the curriculum without. So this strategy will work, and allow for learning support and resource teacher to deal with larger number of people and avoid teacher isolation, and provide opportunities for shared decisions, and planning is supported because it is shared. Some potential challenges are there, not easy to maintain the school because diversity and individual differences are there. Teacher may not work well together sometimes, so we have to make a We have to remove these challenges as well, and lots of strategies we have to make about teacher, team teaching. If this will not work, you have to change. You have to collaborate with others. So moving the collaboration away from the teacher's problems to the curriculum has a positive impact on the classroom instruction and generally improves the educational program. And lots of behavioral issues I talked about. What key concept can lay the groundwork for teacher success in managing challenging behaviors. So problems are an acceptable discrepancy between what is expected and what is observed. And behavior in the classroom is a product of child characteristics and classroom environment. Sometimes they are not getting instructions, and I am giving instructions, but they are not responding. Behavioral issues. So we have to use interventions. One of the elements that separate academic from behavioral intervention is academic intervention can often be scheduled. Behavioral intervention are often contingency driven in the class that would be beneficial. And big ideas in behavioral management teach expected behavior. Students need to be explicitly expected behavior. They should then be acknowledged and enforced when they show positive behaviors. School should treat behavior as a part of the curriculum, teach it and reinforce it. And big ideas in behavior management check for academic problems, and educator should routinely assess its student academic skills. Lots of things. Skill deficit is there, performance deficit is there, access to tangible or edible activities, peer attention, adult attention, escape avoidance, lots of things. So eliminate behavioral triggers. Problem behavior are often set off by events or conditions within the classroom. So when the educator is able to identify and eliminate triggers of negative conduct, so definitely the behavior will improve. For example, ABC, consequence. So antecedents, stimuli, setting and context that occur before and influence behavior, like instructions, like gestures, look from others. What is behavior observable? Act carried out or not carried out by the individuals. So engaging in the class and calling out, not doing homework, consequences, events that follow behavior and may include influence that increase, decrease, or have no impact on behavior. Teacher praise for student behavior, loss of free time for non-compliance. So design a well-managed classroom for special kids. Students are deeply involved with their work in the managed class. Students know what is expected to them and are generally successful. There is relatively little wasted time, confusion, or disruption. And the climate of the classroom is work oriented but relaxed and pleasant. And well managed classroom is a task oriented environment, a predictable environment, is ready and waiting for students. I think of as many responses to the students to the following statement as you can. An effective teacher is who is effective teacher. Sometimes a dangerous teacher is also there. Believes that this job is not all about relationship. Believes that this is not just a job, and when the school day is over, the work all done. Believes believes that it was good enough for me. Believes that all kids need is a good whipping. So believes that what he or she does outside of here has no bearing. Believes that anger should not be a part of curriculum. Never makes time to just sit and listen. So thinks you should not smile until thanksgiving. Believes that morality and values should only be taught at home. But the effective teacher is that who establish good control in the classroom, make a good rapport with students, good connection, affects and touches leaves, exhibit positive expectation, and establish good classroom management techniques, design lessons for student mastery, work cooperatively and learners from colleagues, seek out a mentor, and has a goal of striving for excellence, can explain and realize that teaching is not a private practice. He is flexible and adaptable, listens and understand the student, and so has positive expectation from the student, and extremely good classroom manager. He is a manager, facilitator, and know about how to design lesson in the class. Understanding our student is important because dealing with student behavior in today's classroom is difficult. So attention from peers or adults and attend powerful power control, revenge or retaliation, feel good play, fear of failure is there, imitation. So classroom rules must be there, classroom schedule must be fixed, physical space, and student work. So what is classroom rules? Keep the number of a maximum, minimum, approx 5. Keep the wording simple in the class. Have rules represent you basic expectation because teacher is the ideal for them. Keep the wording positive if possible. Make your rules specific and make your rules describe behavior that is measurable. Always include a compliance rule. Keep the rules posted. Inappropriate rules will we have to ignore in the class. Past consequences are reasonable and logical. A reasonable consequence is that follow logically from the behavior rather than one that is arbitrarily imposed. Classroom schedules avoid downtime and approach 70% of the school days geared for academic engagement. Begin each activity on time, and we have to utilize the time and conduct co-curricular activities and cooperative learning, team teaching, lots of things you can do in the class. Physical space, you know, physical space. Needed arrange for a timeout space in your classroom that is an unobtrusive as possible. And desks do not have to be traditional rows, but all chairs should face forward and to show all eyes are focused on the teacher. Some students have behavioral problems. They are aggressive, they are hyperactive, they are agitated, resistance is there. The student who want work, distract, they can easily distract. They are dependent on others. So these are things. So teachers who are ready maximize students' learning and minimize student behavior. Attention signals, for example, decide upon a signal you can use to get students' attention in the class because they have attention or concentration problem. Teach students to respond to the signal by focusing on you and maintaining complete silence. Say, class, your attention, please. At the same time, swing right arm in a circular motion from 9 position to the 12 position. So you can use prompts in the class. It can given from any location in the room. It can be used outside the classroom. It has both as visual and auditory component. It has the ripple effect. Discipline, routines, and procedures is important. Discipline, procedure, routines. Effective teacher introduce rules, procedures, and routines on the very first day of the school. The number of one problem in the classroom is not discipline; it is the lack of procedure and routines. You know, Student work is important because design efficient procedures for assigning, monitoring, and collecting student work of a special kid. 5 areas of managing student work: assigning classwork and homework according to the level of the student because level and interest area is important. Managing independent work periods. Sometimes they have problems. We can use prompt. We have to support them, so we can increase the difficulty level step by step. Collecting completed work from them and keeping records and provide feedback and how and the growth of the student and dealing with late missing assignments. So you don't build your football team on the day of the game. You don't drill a well when you get thirsty, and you don't discuss procedure once an emergency has begun. We have to, you know, enhance the skills step by step at the early stage. Classroom management plan is important because the level of classroom structure based on risk factors of your students and guideline for success of important, for example, attitudes, traits, behaviors. Rules must be specific, observable, and teaching expectations. What, how, and when expectations will taught in the class. How can we monitor in the class? How we can manage in the class. Correction procedures are there. Managing student work is there. So make sure students know your behavioral expectation and consider the chance level of the structure. Sometimes they have anger, they have impulsiveness in the class. How do you deal with an angry student? The goal to help channel and direction the student to constructive outcome. Assist the child in learning acceptable ways of expressing this emotion. Caution should be taken to avoid repressing or destroying the feeling of anger. So a defense of avoid painful feelings associated with failure, associated with low self-esteem, associated with the feeling of isolation. So anger with sadness, anger and sadness closely related, expresses sadness and anger as anger. So catch the child being good, tell what behavior please you, respond to positive effort and reinforce good behavior. Thanks for sitting in your sit quietly and you work hard on the project, and I admire your effort as a teacher. Angry child interventions and deliberately ignore inappropriate behavior that can be tolerated. Tell child what you are doing. If attention seeking, it will get worse before better. Be consistent. So, angry child intervention means provide physical outlets and other alternatives. Pre-plan opportunities for child to release stored energy, consider meaningful work, and manipulate the surroundings. Look for triggers both inside outside. Re-examine your rules. Consider the child physical space, and use closeness and touching. Move physically closer to the students, to the kids. Consider gently placing your hand on the child's shoulder. Express interest in the child activities. Develop the relationship. Make good rapport. Ease tension through humor. Attempt to joke the child of an episode. This will help save face. Be careful to distinguish between humor and teasing. You know, and explain situation to the child. Assist the child in understanding what situation can contribute to their anger. So these are the things. So behavior modification. Thank you for not smoking serves as a gentle reminder of expectations. Give student an opportunity to mentally prepare before an activity. Always respond to sincere effort to comply. So these are things. So it means classroom behavior modification is important. Identify the context and likely problem behavior, which behavior problem he or she has, and which kind of symptoms he is showing, and specify the expected behavior. Okay, which kind of behavior we have to specify. Systematical modify the context and conduct behavior rehearsals on them. Provide strong reinforcement, prompt expected behavior, and monitor the plan step by step. Classroom environment, is play vital role. No improvement will occur in the instruction until the classroom climate improves. If the classroom environment is positive, the exposure is great, so they will feel really well. They will perform well not only in academic but also in non-academic areas. They will share their ideas. Emotional aspect will be improved. So classroom environment play vital role. The social interaction within demand is formed by the need of three things: power, affiliation, and achievement. Power influence over one's own life, affiliation belong from belongings, achievement from status. So these are the social skills. How do tough kids meet these needs? Aggression, hitting, shouting, blaming, arguing, fighting, teasing, lots of things are there. So, in order to assist the child is meeting three need, effective social skill instruction should be employed. Social skills, basic skills need to successfully interact with adult and peers in the class. So, as a teacher, we have to recognize and expressing feelings. Playing, we can play cooperatively with them. We can create some problems, and they will solve them using self-control and solving arguments and dealing with teasing. And don't tease them, accept them in the class, in the society, in the teaching learning process, and design lesson according to the need of the student. Why plan? Why I am designing? Which kind of goal I will set? Plan and read. Don't ask what I am going to cover tomorrow. What are my Do ask what are my students going to learn, achieve, and accomplish tomorrow. So learning has nothing to do with what the teacher covers. Learning has, you know, to do with what the student accomplish. So teachers guide, design for the learning of the child, identify the need, set the goal, focus on what the student needs to know, cover one day or several days, and allow for the teachable movement to kids. And experience is important. Demonstrate professional leadership, demonstrate knowledge of content, design plan instruction, and create and maintain learning climate, and engage in professional development. These are the things you can do in the class as a special educator or as a teacher. And you know some students are unmotivated in the class. They are not motivated. Their self-esteem is low, their confidence is low. So unmotivated student, problem often emerge during late elementary or the primary level, often imitated by early academic problem, and begin to see school as a place of drudgery, and will most often become discipline problem in the class. So factors that influence motivation: fear of failure, lack of meaning, emotional distress, learning disability, lack of challenge, desire for attention, peer concern, low expectation, expression of anger. So, what we can do: assess the origin, record teachers, talk with the students privately, one to one, provide a warm, accepting climate, stay close to the student, and and introduce the lesson with enthusiasm, and give clear direction and feedback, and present task in manageable success, and highlight the student's ability and talent in the class. You can use these things in the class as a teacher. Some students have hyperactivity, constant movement, easy distraction, lack of control, a verbal problem, does not attend no cues, provide structured high activity tasks, allow for control movement, reward on task behavior, use color codes for recognition behavior, passive, minimal problem solving, dependent learner, and views ability versus effort as a problem, focus attention on key elements. So impulsivity is there. Students speaks before thinking about out answers, cannot monitor behavior, impatient, avoid anxiety, reflective evaluation, develop problem solving. Disruptive behavior, refuse to do work, defy authority, imitates other students, reinforce positive behavior. So the classroom is organized in a manner that encourage order, participation, independence, and continuous learning. And as a teacher, it's my duty to handle each and every student in the class. There is a communication, between the teacher, principal, and the special educator, when they will make a plan about the students, how they will deal with them in the class. So it means what we what is the conclusion of this management. Managing children with special needs in a classroom, it means requires a thoughtful and inclusive approach, because you have to make IEPs according to the need, ensure that each children has an IEP tailored to their specific needs. You have to create an inclusive environment, foster an inclusive environment where all children learn together, encourage peer support and collaboration, and clear communication. Communicate with parents, guardians, specialists involved in child care, because it's a collaborative approach. Collaboration with specialists, with occupational therapists, with speech therapists, with psychologists, with doctors, and other specialists, to implement strategies and intervention that support the child learning and development. And as a teacher or as a parent, flexible in nature, be flexible in your teaching methods, and be willing to adapt material and activities to meet the individual needs, and differentiate instruction, provide you know varied instructional strategy, you know and the material, and sensory considerations. Be mindful of sensory sensitiveness that come in special kids may have. Provide a quiet space or sensory tools if needed, and positive behavior support and peer support and partnership and assistive technology play vital role in dealing with them. Regular assessment and feedback is required. Advocacy and empowerment, encourage self advocacy skills in children with special needs. Teach them to express their needs and preferences, and cultural sensitivity is important. Professional development is required, and raise awareness and sensitization in the society, and make accessible infrastructure and environment, and you know create employment opportunities for special kids, and community programs. Community-based rehabilitation, you know, will play a vital role, and promote empowerment. Encourage self-advocacy and independence in special kids by providing them with the skills and resources they need to make decisions about their life. Volunteer opportunities and you know peer support and financial support must be there. Legal, if the legal support is there, legal framework is there, try to implement all those things in practical manner. Parents play vital role. Parents play a crucial role in advocating for the needs of their child. They will identify at the early stages. They should actively participate in dealing with them. Emotional support they will give. They are consistent. They are observing their kids. They know the strength and weakness. Teachers also play vital role. They differentiate instruction. They will give collaborate. They will work in collaboration. They are observing their kids. They are providing feedback. They have good communication and rapport with parents. Government agencies are also working well. Legislation and the framework is there. Government has issued enforced laws and regulations that protect the rights and provide services for special kids. And special educator teachers create and implement IPs tailored to each children according to the need and the level of the student. Specialized instruction they will give, collaboration collaborative work they will done in the school, and they will monitor the progress of the student. And the multidisciplinary staff will work like a speech therapist or the occupational therapist or the physiotherapist or the doctor in the labeling of the student. Assessment, conduct assessment to identify and weakness. They will assess the child, they will diagnose the problem, and collaborate among these stakeholders is essential to ensure children with special needs receive comprehensive support and intervention services that address their unique requirement and promote their overall development. So assessment and evaluation and the individualized planning and regular team meetings in collaboration and coordination of services and holistic development will be done. And make a good rapport with students, and regular professional development, and advocacy and empowerment. So documentation and reporting. So a multidisciplinary team for managing special kids work collaboratively, focusing on assessment, planning, coordination, and holistic support. So thank you. This is all about from my side about how we can manage special kids because they have different needs. It's a broad area, so lots of disabilities are there. But in general, we have talked about how we can manage it as a teacher, as a parents, and how we collaborate with them.
Thank you so much, sir, for your rich content presentation, which can impact our knowledge seeker surely. After your presentation, I hope our knowledge seeker can learn something new, which was our only intention. Learn and grow together, IGP knowledge seeker. Once again, thank you so much, sir, for your presentation. Now, sir, it's time for our question answer session, which is the one more valuable part of our regular webinar. Honorable sir, please stay with us. After a short video, we will back in our session part 2, which is the question answer part. Dear IGP knowledge seeker, please ask in the comment box as much as you want to know from our speaker. Thank you. After question answer, we have a wellness certification and online quiz competition. Dear IGP knowledge seeker, please ask your question in the comment box as much as you want to know from our speaker. Thank you. After question answer, we have an online quiz competition. welcome back to our participant. Dear IGP knowledge seeker, please ask your question in the comment box as much as you want to know from our speaker. Thank you. After question answer, we have a paper certification and online quiz competition. Dear IGP knowledge seeker, please ask your question in the comment box as much as you want to know from our speaker. Thank you. After question answer, we have an online quiz competition. So our first question is from you team. How does having a child with a disability affect their children?
Sorry, repeat the question. How does
How does
having a
having
child
a child with a disability affect other children?
with other children? Okay, okay. So I think this question, how does having a child with a disability affect other children? You know, having a child with disability can have various effects on their siblings and the family as a whole. You know, these effects can vary depending on the nature and severity of the disability. Many reasons are there, some genetical reasons are there, some environmental factors are there, the family coping strategies and the support available. For example, increased responsibilities. So sibling of a child with a disability may take on additional responsibilities such as helping with caregiver tasks or providing emotional support to their siblings. So this can teach them valuable life skills. The another point, that empathy and understanding, growing up with the sibling with a disability can foster empathy, patience and deep understanding of diversity and inclusion. And feelings of neglect, siblings may sometimes feel neglected or overlooked by the parents, who need to devote significant time and attention to the child with a disability. Mixed emotions, advocacy skills, increased tolerance, and unique bond, challenges in socialization. Sibling may face challenges in explaining their siblings' disability to peer or friends, which can sometimes lead to a social difficulties or misunderstandings. So it is essential for parents and caregivers to provide support and resources to siblings to help them navigate these challenges. This may include open communication, access to counseling, or support groups. It is important to recognize that every family experience is unique, the environment is different, and their background is different, their abilities are different. So, and the impact on the siblings can be both positive and challenging sometimes. And with understanding, support, and open communication, family can foster an environment where all children, include those with disabilities, can thrive. Their siblings can grow into compensate, resilient, and well-adjusted individuals in the class. Are you there?
Thank you so much, sir, for your answer. Sir, our next question is from Flomi. Hi, everyone. Good evening, sir. What are the
Hello.
early indicators that a child has a special education needs? What are the difference between learning disorder and learning disability? Thank you.
Okay. Am I audible right now? Actually, my net has some problem. Hello. Am I audible? Okay. The question is, you asked
Yes, sir,
what
you
are
are
the early,
audible.
okay, what are the early indicators that a child has special education needs? What are the difference between learning disorder and learning disability? You know, early indicators that a child may have special education needs can vary depending on the specific need, and there are lots of reasons behind it. For example, if as a parent I'm observing the milestones of my child, physical milestones or the social or the language development, so we have to keenly observe the milestones at the early stages. If milestones is delay, for example, speech and language delays, difficulty in speaking, understanding, or using language at an age appropriate level. For example, like Piaget talked about the mental development and speech development. So, if my child is not able to, able to speak, have problems in speaking, so we have to, look forward about the special education. Sometime motor delay, balancing problem, or the fine motor problem, or the gross motor problem, or the walking, or he's not able to make good eye hand coordination. So we have to observe the physical milestones at the early stages. If they are delayed, we have to give them special education. Social and behavioral challenges are there, difficulty in interacting with peers. They are not making friends, they are introvert in nature, they frequently behavioral issues, tantrums, aggressions, like that. So we have to manage them. Academic struggles like reading, writing, frequently errors, and sensory sensitivities like extreme sensitivity or aversion or sensory stimuli such as light, sound, or the attention or concentration issues, difficulty staying focused, attention or developmental milestone delays, and difficulty with self care, like daily living skills they are not performing, such as dressing, feeding, or toileting, or beyond what is developmentally appropriate for age. So emotional challenges like frequent and intense emotional outburst. So it is important to note that these indicators can help be early, signs, but special education is a broad area. So at the early stages, parents, observe their milestones, and after that, a formal assessment will be done by the professionals about the labeling. They will diagnose the problem perfectly, and they will say which kind of intervention they can give. They like speech therapists or physiotherapists or occupational therapists or doctors. And the second question is that difference between learning disability and learning disorder. I think he asked me learning disorder or learning disability. So learning disorder refers to the specific difficulties or deficits in acquiring and using certain academic skills. Learning disorders are typically, diagnosed when a child academic performance significantly lag behind at the, for example, dyslexia, dyscalculia, dysgraphia. And learning disability is a broader term that encompasses a range of cognitive and neurological differences that affects person's brain capacity to learn and process information. So learning disabilities can extend beyond academic skills and may affect other areas such as memory, attention, executive functioning, and all. Thank you. I think she is not there. I think she is not there. Hello.
Once again, thank you so much, sir, for your time in IGP. We have learned a lot from you with new topic. It will add some
Thank,
value to our day-to-day activity along with our academic and professional growth. Honorable sir,
thank,
hope to see you again with a new topic and a new day. Thank you, sir. Take care.
thank you, ma'am. Thank you. It's my pleasure. Thank you,
Okay.
guys. Take care. Assalamu alaikum. Namaste. Good evening.
Walaikum assalam. Dear IGP Knowledge Seeker, it's time for the most engaging part of this webinar, which is an online quiz competition, which is our regular webinar activity. Now, time for the online quiz competition. To join the online quiz competition properly, please follow my instruction carefully. Now, time for the online quiz competition. To join the online quiz competition properly, please follow my instruction carefully. For some technical problem, we cannot continue the quiz session from our website. So to join the quiz session, you have to go www.slido.com and the code is 2514087. I repeat the code 2514087. After a short video, we will start our quiz session. First question is both of Google's founders are stepping down from management. Option one false, option two true. Option 2 is the right answer. 33% people are right here. In the leaderboard, Enlita is holding the first position. Our second question is the first big business in America in terms of finance, labor relationship, and management was option 1, the telephone industry, option 2, the railroad industry. Option 2 is the right answer. 68% people are right here. In the leaderboard, Shamim is holding the first position. Our third question is which of these helps with this management? Option 1, get a full night bread. Option 2, skip class to take a nap. Option 1 is the right answer. 91% people are right here. In the leaderboard, Shamim is holding the first position. Our fourth question is immediate management of soft tissues injuries involves. Option 1, rice. Option 2, ricer. Option 2 is the right answer. 67% people are right here. In the leaderboard, Lutrium is holding the first position. Our fifth question is the strike brought dash a change of management in the company. Option 1, about. Option 2, out. Option 1 is the right answer. 22% people are right here. In the leaderboard, Lutrium is holding the first position. Our sixth question is which of these helps with this management? 62% people are right here. In the leaderboard, Lutrium is holding the first position. Our seventh question is option 2 is the right answer and 100% people are right here. In the leaderboard, Nympha is holding the first position. Our seventh question is which providers specialize in the management and treatment of industrial cystitis? Option 1, immunologist. Option 2, urologist. Option 2 is the right answer. 60% people are right here. In the leaderboard, Nympha is holding the first position. Our eighth question is foods to avoid with management of hyperkalemia. Option 1, bananas. Option 2, bread. Option 1 is the right answer. 30% people are right here. In the leaderboard, Dhanroga is holding the first position. Our ninth question is management of CAP. Option 1, Marwan Paradise option Titerslanis filigrans option 2 vancomycin. Option 1 is the right answer. 96% people are right here in the leaderboard. Dharmaga is holding the first position. Our last and final question of the session is which is an example of time management? Option 1 to do list, option 2 deep breathing. So option 1 is the right answer. 100% people are right here. Congratulations to our online quiz competition in our top 10. Congratulations again. We will take a few minutes for finalizing the result. After that, we will issue our online quiz competence certificate on our official Facebook page and Group Institute of Global Professional. Congratulations to our quiz competition in top 10. Congratulations again. We will take a few minutes for finalizing the result. After that, we will issue our participation in every poll. If you want to live a happy life, try to go to people or things, Albert Einstein. Before I say or hit the like button, I again want to thank all our GP knowledge seekers for your active participation as always. See you again in the next session. Thank you.